Today we're going to go through some SQL jobs on LinkedIn. We're going to find out what skills they're wanting, and we're going to get an idea of what they would want you to do in these jobs and whether or not we would want to apply. Let's see what jobs are out there right now. Let's dig into a couple of them and find out, what skills they think you should have. And in order to do that, I'm going to start here on LinkedIn, and we're just going to go after some SQL jobs and see what's out there. So I'll type in SQL, and so there's 159,000 jobs right now in the United States with SQL listed in them. And as I look down through here, one has Microsoft MS SQL, that's going to be Microsoft SQL with IIS and Linux. Then we have like a BI analyst job. We have a SQL project manager, SQL programmer. Let's dig into this SQL programmer. So I'm going to click on that one. And so the first thing I notice is with a company called Haven Hospice. It's in Gainesville, Florida. The job has 18 applicants, entry level. The company's a decent sized company, so it's 500 to 1,000 employees. It's in the healthcare industry. It is posted by Brooke Pine. And let's kind of look through what the title says here. So it says we should be a SQL programmer, but that can mean a lot of different things. So first thing I want to do is check out this overview. The SQL programmer works within the information technology department. So it's going to be in IT. Responsible and accountable for developing and maintaining reporting and analytic solutions to help guide business decisions. Okay, that's a long sentence. Analyzes information in reports to support the company's planning needs, goals, objectives. Okay, so there's going to be some reporting, there's going to be some developing, there's going to be some maintaining. That's what I pulled out of that. You'll be developing, maintaining, and then you're actually going to be looking at information and reports. Let's see what else we got. They collaborate with staff to develop, implement, improve reporting tools. So this is going to be a little more reporting. Provides feedback to and works cooperatively with IT department and software vendors. Okay. SQL programmer interface with various numbers of programs such as Microsoft SQL Query Tool. I'm guessing that's SSMS, Management Studio. Not positive though. Crystal reports. Now this takes me back a while. I haven't done Crystal since early 2000s. There's some Microsoft SharePoint and specialized reporting programs by vendors of all database systems. Currently in use with Haven Hospice. So you're gonna see a lot of different reporting tools in this case. This report is also responsible for back-end maintenance in Haven's electronic medical record system. All right. So that's the overview. There's quite a bit there. But mainly the stuff I would focus on is you're going to be developing and maintaining reporting and analytic solutions. So this is on the reporting side. You're going to look at reports that are already there, probably modify them. You're going to have to talk to staff to develop new reports and troubleshoot existing reports. Now, Crystal Reports is a skill that's different than like SQL Server reporting services. So you'll have to figure out how you want to get into that. It looks like they're using SharePoint for some stuff. All right, so what they expect you to have. They expect you to have a bachelor's degree with a minimum of 3 years of experience or 5 years experience in a related field. So I'm guessing that's related to medical records, so in the healthcare industry. Strong knowledge of concepts, practices, procedures, and database management. Experience writing code for database access. So you're going to be writing SQL to pull data, basically. Modifications and construction, including stored procedures. So you do need to know, they're talking about stored procedures, and I think they were talking about Microsoft SQL Server, so you're going to have to know T-SQL. Let's see, basic programming skills and web development's a plus, but not needed. Extensive knowledge of Windows Server, Microsoft 365. So Microsoft 365, to me, that sounds more like just Office tools, maybe Excel. I don't know if they're wanting you to manage their SharePoint, but extensive knowledge of Windows Server, I wonder what that's about. I mean, most of the time in reporting, you don't have to have extensive knowledge there. Access databases, that's common. Microsoft Access databases, they probably have data stored there, or they have queries written in them that pull from SQL Server. SharePoint is fine. That's just Microsoft SharePoint. And other database type experience. Okay. Now we're into experience in supporting an electronic medical records system. Now the question is, what does that mean? I have some guesses, but I haven't worked in the medical industry. So experience in supporting those, I'm sure that there's just, there's quite a bit of privacy and making sure everything's locked down in that area. So that's one of the big things of supporting it that might be different from other systems that you supported. But for the most part, any database system you're supporting, you're going to really secure it up and make sure that it's not getting out, data's not getting out to other people. And so that's where my brain would go initially here, but that'd be something you'd have to ask about. Relies on experience and judgment to plan and accomplish goals. Okay, that's just a vague statement. To me, that means they want you to work independently and use your judgment to make decisions. But yeah, it should be based on experience from past work you've done. Ability to work non-judgmentally with persons of varied cultures, religions, socioeconomic backgrounds, and lifestyles. You're going to be working with other people. They're going to be different than you. That's everywhere you go. And they just want you to accomplish your goals without offending everybody. So let's see, what else do we have? Alignment with Haven mission, culture, values, collaborate. All this stuff, just canned things there. Make sure you fit in the culture of them. But if you're doing your job and being nice to everybody and accomplishing the goals, you're going to probably fit in anywhere just fine. Then we talk about location and all that stuff. The only thing I wonder, does it say anything about remote? I don't see anything about remote. So that's interesting. So basically, when I look at this job, what I'm thinking is, well, if I have Microsoft SQL skills, probably Excel and Access, those are almost always in there. Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Access, Management Studio, some SharePoint, which you can pick up SharePoint pretty quick, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of background in that. The one that I think is going to be hard for them is to have all those tools and still somebody have Crystal reporting. Maybe it's used more. I haven't seen Crystal reports used a lot lately, so it was used a lot in the early 2000s before reporting services came out. And now you have all kinds of tools, and usually it's Tableau now, or it kind of takes the place of Crystal reports with canned reporting and things. But you can also use Power BI, and reporting services is now sitting with Power BI. So that's the one skill that would be interesting to fill. Now, I don't know if they said you need extensive knowledge in that, and you can probably pick it up if you know Tableau or if you know reporting services, because reporting services was based a lot on Crystal reports initially, and fixing some of the shortcomings of Crystal reports. So if I was looking at this job, the next thing I would do is I would come in and find out more about this Haven Hospice. So let's do a quick hospice. So it is in Gainesville, Florida. I don't know where this just took me. Okay, this is Haven. And then I would probably look through here and just find a little bit more out about the company and what it's doing, who it's working with. Make sure it sounds like something that would be interesting, especially when you're in reporting, you're going to be dealing with the data for the type of business that you're in. And so it'd be interesting to know a little more about them and, a little more about how long they've been in business and whether or not, especially if you're going to move or something, you want to make sure you go with a company that is going to be in business for a long time. All right, so that was job 1. That was kind of interesting there. So let's see what else we've got in here. We got some SQL developer jobs, SQL report developer, SQL programmer. Here's a PL SQL. Anytime you see PL SQL, we're talking about Oracle. Probably a completely different stack. I'm using the Microsoft stack myself. SQL developer architect, and let's see what an architect position sounds like. So if I click on that one, so now this job is with Hartwig Staffing. So it's a staffing company. Interesting. So first thing I notice is that this company only has 2 to 10 employees. Maybe that's fine because they're passing this through to another company, because they're a staffing recruiting company. So we need to figure out, okay, are we actually working for the staffing company, or are they trying to place us somewhere? So Hartwig Staffing has partnered with a local software company. There it is. Looking for a SQL developer. So this is not the company, and you can't find out more about this company yet unless they put it in the description here. So they're looking for a SQL developer architect with experience in Azure. All right, now we moved up to the cloud. Usually when we're in the cloud, most of the stuff I see is between Azure and AWS. And so Azure is Microsoft's stack up there in the cloud. Compensation is approximately $90,150, and then which is really good money. So what you'll need, you need to be an expert in SQL writing and query optimization. And so if they're talking about SQL writing, it sounds like they're talking about polling data. Although it's a developer position, maybe they want you to insert data too. But a lot of SQL queries. And then query optimization. So they must have lots of data, this company, and we need to make sure that data gets pulled in an efficient manner. So maybe they're having problems with performance on different reports and things right now. And maybe I'm thinking wrong here, because I'm always thinking reporting. Maybe it's transactional, so that'd be a question to ask them is, is this they want to optimize their transactional system and make sure their read writes are going really fast, or are they trying to optimize their polling? Do they have a data warehouse or something out there where they want to pull data in an efficient manner? And then, so moving on more, and it says query optimization database in Microsoft Azure, and the ability to analyze situations to make the system better. So there must be lots of inefficiencies that they're wanting to deal with. Maintain and refactor legacy schemas. So they want you to change some of the modeling of the way their data is laid out and how their data moves around. Heavy preference for experience with a common data model. Now this is one I have not dealt with, but this is inside of Azure's database. So let's go check that up a little bit. So this is Azure Common Data Model. Let's go down here. And so I don't know if this is their key value store. Boy, this is a nice big diagram to try to describe what it is. So you can always, so with their common data model, they have predefined models out there that you can build like a Power App on or something. And you can see they have a sales common data model, a service one, this must be a service company, a finance data model, supply chain, commerce, a marketing, and web project operations. So they already have some predefined ones, or you can define your own with a common data model too. Interesting. So let's go back to the job now. And so heavy preference for experience with the common data model. So I would do a little research on that if you haven't worked on it before you interview with this company. Make sure you understand what's going on there. Now, just as a preference, so once you know a little bit about it, that might be enough in this case. Now, why you want the job? Rapidly growing organization, role can be 100% remote, and that is cool. Great benefits with numerous fringe benefits, and some Microsoft Shop. Interesting. So in this case, they don't give us enough about the company that you would be placed with to know, you'll have to do an interview with this company or talk to the staffing company first to know who they're trying to place you with. So that's the SQL developer architect. Now it says architect, and it must be talking about architect in a sense because it wants you to optimize. It wants you to refactor legacy schemas. And then when you're talking about the common data model, they probably want you to evaluate that and see where there are any slownesses in those cases. All right, so let's pick up one more of these jobs today. Let's see if we can find something just a little bit different. I see reporting. I see a database admin. Okay, this is good, database admin. So this is also not in my warehouse. I'm mainly reporting and warehousing and data integration. But database admins, there's certain people that like it, and a lot of times you're maintaining the database, and so you're making sure they run. You're making sure they don't run out of space. You're making sure that people don't run things that bring other people down, and make sure the transactional systems run. That's usually some of the things you're doing. Make sure they're backed up. Make sure they have failover, stuff like that. So let's take a look. So here we are. We're with a SQL database admin, American Power and Gas. Okay, so this one's in Florida also. I don't know why I keep picking Florida jobs. I must want the warm weather here. I'm tired of cold weather. Okay, so American Power and Gas. Now this company is big, decent, 201 to 500 employees. It's in the oil and energy industry. Already has 12 applicants. So American Power and Gas offers green solutions to both residential and small commercial customers. Okay, telling you a little bit about who they are. One of the oldest reputable companies. Okay, we'll keep moving through that. All right, so we're learning about them, but really what we care about right now is the job. See if we even fit, and then we'll go back to them. So we are seeking experience mid-level. So a lot of times you can tell where the money's going to be based off of what they say here. So they're saying mid-level, so they always want the best they can get, but they want somebody they can afford, is what they're saying there. So mid-level SQL database administrator who is also skilled in SQL querying and reporting. So this has reporting in it also. It's not just an administrator. So here's the job requirements. Keeping the database servers up to date. And that's always a DBA thing. Now SQL querying and reporting is not usually a DBA thing. And so this is more than a DBA position. Allocating system storage and planning storage requirements for database system, normal DBA stuff. Make sure that you've got enough storage so that you don't run out of it and bring the systems down. Modifying, and you need to plan ahead, because it takes sometimes a long time to get extra storage, depending on these are on-sites or cloud servers. Modifying the database structures as necessary. Information given by application developers. Oh, so now you're not just a database administrator. Now you're actually more of an architect. Okay. So this is a reporting, architect, and database admin job. Okay, enrolling users and maintaining system security. Security is always a DBA type of thing. Ensuring compliance with database vendor license agreements, DBA thing. That's probably security compliance. And maybe uptime or something like that, I don't know. SLA type of thing, service level agreement. Controlling and monitoring user access to the database. Okay, that's DBA type of thing. Making sure that the right people are getting in. Making sure they're not bringing down the server. Making sure they're not getting into data they're not supposed to get into. Okay, monitoring, optimizing the performance of the database to ensure optimal speed. Performance, that's all fine. That's indexing, making sure those are getting rebuilt correctly and things like that. Defragging the database, stuff like that. Maintaining archived data. That can be a DBA role. Backing up, restoring databases. So now we're into all the DBA stuff. Managing and monitoring data replication. So any DBA job, you're going to get almost all of these. The only difference I'm seeing here is they're talking about SQL querying and reporting, and they're also talking about possibly changing structures. That can be on the line of whether that's an architecture thing or developer thing or a DBA thing. So other than that, typical DBA job. Let's go do the rest of the due diligence here. American Power and Gas. So we're going to run out here. Power and Gas. American Power and Gas. We're going to take a look at their website, just see who they are. We know this job's in Florida. Power your home with green energy. Interesting. Forbes, Huffington Post. Okay, so the front page is all about green, but I thought they were power and gas. So let's go to about. I don't want that. It says the core 15 years, the customer choice programs. Yeah. Okay. So I would look at this a little deeper, and you can even come see if they have other jobs. And that's something that's always good to do also. If you come to the company and they have their own list of positions out there, then you can come see what other jobs they have. So I'm in here now. Where are the jobs at? Here, get started. Here are open positions. And so we got account manager, call center, customer sales rep, specialist. They have a lot of sales stuff. That's interesting. What's admin jobs? Okay, so lead. Okay, so here we go. Now we're into that SQL. Here's that SQL database admin position that we saw. But now they also have a business analyst, a junior business analyst. So they have a couple more data positions. A business analyst will often deal with data and capturing and helping with the specifications and things like that with developers. So there's a couple other jobs. You can click on that, see if the job requirements are any different. Looks like it's the same as LinkedIn. So there you have it. So I think that's all the jobs I'll go through today. We'll see if there's any cool ones that show up next week.